Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Fernandez on Cardiology 305. Today, we're talking about something I find incredible rewarding: the intersection of heart health and personal finance. Because here's the truth: if you're sitting in the chair worried about your health, your wallet, you're not alone. But I have good news. The same habits that keep your heart strong will also keep your insurance premiums low. And that's a win win I can get behind. She mentioned up front, this is for teaching purpose only. Nothing here replaces talking to your own cardiologist or insurance advisor. But stick with me, and I promise you'll live with real actionable strategies. Why this matters? Let me start with something that surprised me when I first learned it. Insurance companies have actually figured out what I already knew. The people who take care of their heart file fewer claims. Shocking, I know. Here's the concept: insurance is a bet. The company bets you'll stay healthy. You bet you'll get sick and need coverage. The better you look health wise, the happier they are. And happy insurance companies, they reward you with lower premiums. I've had patients come into my office very sick about heart disease, but when I explained that getting healthy actually saves them money every month, something clicks. Suddenly, making that appointment or taking that walk becomes about more than just living longer. It's about putting money back in your pocket. That's powerful motivation for some people. Think about it. You're already paying for insurance. What if you could make that same payment cover less risk? That's exactly what these habits do. What insurance track? Now, insurance companies don't operate on hope and good intentions. They use metrics, real measurable things: blood pressure, cholesterol, weight. These are the numbers they watch because they predict who who will have heart attacks, strokes, and hospitalization. Let me break it down these targets. Blood pressure under 120/80. This is where hypertension risk drops dramatically. LDL cholesterol under 100. This is the bad cholesterol. Lower is better. Some of my highest risk patients aim for under 70 and sometimes 50. BMI 18.5 to 24.9. Obesity significantly increased cardiac risk. Weight matter. Fasting glucose under 100. Prediabetes is an epidemic. This number tells us if your metabolism is healthy. 150 minutes per week. This isn't arbitrary of exercise. The study showed this amount of activity produced real cardiovascular benefits. Here what excites me. These aren't impossible targets. They're not asking you to run marathons or give up everything you love. They're asking you to be intentional, and intentional people get rewards. Habit number one: regular exercise, movement. Let's talk about it. I see a lot of people who say, Doc, I don't have time to exercise, and I always respond the same way. You don't have time not to, because here's what happens when you don't move. Your heart gets lazy, your blood vessels get stiff, and your weight creeps up. And guess who notices? Your insurance companies. The prescription is straightforward: 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. What does that mean? Walking briskly, cycling, swimming. Not necessarily grinding yourself at the gym, just activities where you're breathing harder but can still hold a conversation. And here's the magical part: when you exercise regularly, good things happen. Your blood pressure drops naturally, your LDL cholesterol improves, your weight normalizes, your sleep better, which we'll talk about. You manage stress better. I have a patient who came to me with a high blood pressure and high cholesterol. He was also paying around $450 a month for insurance. I told him to start walking 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That was 3 years ago. His blood pressure is now perfect. His cholesterol is under control, and his premium dropped to $350. That's $100 a month, or $1,200 a year. He paid for himself in the first month of walking. The insurance impact. Studies show you can get 10 to 15% reduction just by being consistently active. That's huge. Habit number two, Mediterranean diet. Let me be honest. I love food. Miami is a food city. We have amazing restaurants, incredible flavors. And the last thing I'm going to do is tell you to eat sad chicken and broccoli forever. But here's what I will tell you, the Mediterranean diet, the one they've been eating on Greek islands and the southern Italy for centuries, is backed by some of the most robust research in all of medicine. It reduces heart attacks, strokes, dementia, and mortality. What does it actually look like? Fish, especially fatty fish like salmon, olive oil, vegetable, whole grains, nuts, legumes. You can still have cheese, eggs, poultry. You're not starving, you're actually eating really well. While you're limited red meat, processed food, and added sugars. Not eliminating, limiting. There is a difference. I have patients from Argentina who eat beef 3 times a week. I don't tell them to stop. I tell them to make the other meals Mediterranean inspire, balance. Here's why insurance companies love this. The Mediterranean diet addresses multiple risk factors at once. It helps with weight management, it improves cholesterol naturally, it stabilizes blood sugar, it reduces inflammation throughout the body. Translation, lower risk across the board, and that's worth 5 to 12% in annual savings. Another patient switched her family to Mediterranean diet. Her lipid panel improved so much. Her prior cardiologist reduced her statin dose. She felt better, had more energy, and her premium came down. She told Doc, I thought healthy eating was punishment. Turns out it's delicious. Habit number three, rest and recharge. Okay, this is where I get a little far up because in the US has a sleep problem. We treat sleep like a luxury, not a necessity. It is not. Your heart does critical repair when you sleep. Your parasympathetic nervous system, the calming system, becomes active. Blood pressure drops, heart rate stabilizes. If, if you're not sleeping, you're denying your heart that recovery time. And over weeks, a month, that catches up with you. 7 to 9 hours, that's what the research says. Not five, not six, not I'll catch up on the weekend. Consistent, good sleep. And here's the thing, you can buy your way into better sleep. You can buy a fancy mattress, but if your sleep habits are terrible, you're still waking up exhausted. So what matters? Consistent bedtime and wake up time. Your body has a rhythm. Cool, dark bedroom around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. No screens 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. Limit caffeine after 2 p.m. If you lie awake for more than 20 minutes, get up and do something relaxing until you're drowsy. I had a patient who was traveling constantly for work. His blood pressure was very high, 160 over 100. It's terrible. He was also sleeping 4 hours to 5 hours a night in hotel rooms. I told him, I can give you pills, but what you really need is a good sleep. He restructured his schedule, prioritized sleep, and within 3 months his blood pressure was 130 over 82, better than any medication could do alone. Stress management is the other piece. Meditation, yoga, deep breathing. These are not woo. These are evidence-based tools that activate your parasympathetic system. Even 10 to 15 minutes daily makes a difference. Taken together, good sleep and stress management can get you 8 to 10% premium discount. That's free money for taking care of yourself. Know your numbers. I'm going to say something that might surprise you. Knowing your numbers is not just about your health, it's about your relationship with your doctor. Regular checkups serve multiple purposes. Yes, they catch problems early, but they also demonstrate to your insurance company that you're engaged with your health. You're not ignoring things, you're monitoring yourself. Here's what I recommend: annual physical, not optional. Even if you feel great, you need a baseline, a conversation, a review of your lifestyle, lab work, lipid panel, fasting glucose, complete blood count. This number tells stories. An EKG if you're 45 or older, have a family history of heart disease, or have risk factors, get one. It takes 5 minutes and gives you a baseline. Follow ups. If something's abnormal, you address it, not months later, weeks. I had a patient who hadn't been to a doctor in 8 years. When she finally came in, we found elevated cholesterol, prediabetes, and early hypertension. She was a ticking time bomb. But because she came in, we caught early. We started her on lifestyle changes and one medication. Fast forward 2 years, her numbers are solid, and her insurance premiums reflect that she's engaged with her health. Management chronic conditions. Now, let me talk to the people who have high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol. This is for you. First, I want to be clear: having a chronic disease doesn't disqualify you from the savings. In fact, managing it well is sometimes worth more in discounts than being healthy without effort. Why? Because insurance companies know that heart disease, when caught up early and managed aggressively, is one of the most controllable conditions we have. You can live a long, full life with hypertension if you take your medications, monitor yourself, and see your doctor. Here's what matters: take your medications as prescribed, not most days. Know when you remember, every single day as prescribed by your own physician. Monitor at home if you've been diagnosed with hypertension. Home blood pressure monitor costs $30 to $50 and gives you data and control. Go to your appointments. No excuses. Tell your doctors about side effects. If your medication makes you feel awful, there are others. Ask questions. Why this medication? What's the goal? How do I know it's working? I have another patient who has hypertension, diabetes, and a history of high cholesterol. He's also got incredible well controlled disease and an exceptional quality of life. Why? Because he took the prescription seriously. He checked his blood pressure regularly. He goes to his appointments. He takes his meds, and his insurance company has noticed his premiums are significantly lower than they would have been otherwise, because he proved that even with chronic disease, you can be at low risk if you're engaged. Your potential savings. Let me show you some real math. If you implement one habit, let's say you start exercising, you could see 5 to 15% premium reduction. For someone paying 300 a month, that's 15 to 45 a month, or 180 to 540 a year. Three habits: exercise, better diet, and stress management. You're looking 20 to 35%. That's 60 to 105 a month, or 720 and 1060 a year. All five, 40 to 50%. That's 120 to 150 per month. And here's what kills me: the things that save you the most money are also the things that make you feel best. You sleep better, you have more energy, you look better, you feel more confident. I had a patient come in and say, "Doc, I save 150 a month in insurance by exercising and eating better. That's the best investment I ever made." And he's right. It is an investment in himself. Action plan starting today. Okay, you're convinced? I hope. But how do you actually start? Here's the thing about big life changes: they fail because people try to change everything at once. That's not how humans work. We work through small, incremental changes. For example, week one, schedule your annual physical and baseline labs. This is non negotiable. You need to know where you stand. Call your doctor today. If you don't have one, find one. Commit to one new habit, not all five. One. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk 3 times a week. That's it. Just establish the habit. Week 3. Review your diet. If you're not eating Mediterranean style now, add 2 to 3 staples. Maybe it's olive oil, maybe it's adding fish once a week, maybe it's more vegetable. Small consistency. Week 4. Download a medication or sleep app. Try one session just to see. You might hate it or you might find it transformative, but try. Month 2 and beyond. Once habits start to stick, add more. Track your metric if it motivates you. Celebrate wins. Tell your doctor what you're doing. Here's the most important thing: perfection is the enemy. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent. I would rather see someone do 20-minute walk 3 times a week for the rest of their life than go to the gym 5 times a week for 3 weeks and then quit. Let me wrap this. I became a cardiologist because I believe we can prevent a lot of suffering. Heart disease is still the number one killer of Americans, but so much of it is preventable. The habits we talk about today, they're not just going to lower your insurance premium, they're going to help you live longer, feel better, and be there for the people you love. And yes, they're also going to save you some money. That's a trifecta, right? Better health, better life, better finance. Thank you.